Stick your hand up high, Marianne, because I can't see a thing.
All right. I'm putting in the title. Which is longer than it used to be. All right, we're going live.
We lost a full minute. And hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault, and it's the Tom Chenault Show, now called the Network Marketing Leadership Show with Tom Chenault. And that is because of the new blog that is unbelievable. I can't believe how it's taken off. People listening from all over the country and all over the world. And another thing that's really cool about it is how well it's working on AM radio all over the world with Ted Anderson and Genesis Communication Network. So I am really, really happy to be here today. This is like a blast from the past that is so exciting for me because I've got Jordan Goodman, and Jordan Goodman is a beast. I have known him for a very, very long time. His son had not even gone to, I think, Duke University yet when I got hold of him. And I met this guy, and he just knows so much about finance, and he's not stuck in his way. And when I was on the radio every day, Monday through Friday, on all over the state of Colorado during drive time, I interviewed people like Maria Barolomo and Kramer and Pete Najeri, and everybody had an agenda, and they were pretty stuck into their agenda. What I love about Jordan Goodman is this guy rolls with the punches, and that's why he's front page news. So you're going to see him on MSNBC. You're going to see him all kinds of places because the guy is relevant. So with that, Jordan Goodman, how are you, buddy?
Great to be with you again, Tom. Great to be back with you. You bet.
So where'd your kid go to college?
Dartmouth.
Dartmouth. I knew the second Duke came out of my mouth. It wasn't that.
It was a D. It was a Dartmouth. And then he went to Berkeley after that and became a data scientist. And he now works at Airbnb as a data scientist and software engineer. At the moment, everybody's locked down in San Francisco, of course, but he's still working for him.
But it's a little bit. And you need to tell him my cousin is John Miller, the voice of the San Francisco Giants.
Great.
He's a famous talk show host that your son would love to meet. And John Miller would love to meet the son of the great Jordan Goodman. So that would work out great, which is called connecting the dots. We'll get to that in a little while. Are we just completely hosed? Is there money to be made in this coronavirus economy?
Yes, there is. It's obviously a very volatile time. Right now, we're still accelerating the number of cases, but at some point, this is going to break and come down, and then it's going to be an explosion in the market on the upside and the economy. Right now, we're still on the downside, clearly. But yes, there's going to be a lot of money to be made. Fantastic stocks are incredibly cheap bargains. You know, a month ago, Tom, the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ were all literally all-time record highs. I think it was February 27th. And here we are roughly a month later, and we're down about 40%. It's the biggest drop in the shortest period of time ever because of the fear of the coronavirus. But the examples of China and Korea particularly, and even Italy now, saw their peaks, and now they're starting to come down. In fact, there's no new cases in China. So if we do correct social distancing, we're going to get this behind us and then come out really firing up on all cylinders.
So so there's bargains in stocks.
Absolutely.
And trying to catch the bottom, everybody, is idiotic. And it's so funny. I just got off the phone with a guy that I called him on the phone. I said, how'd you do in this market? He goes, oh, I bought it this morning. And I go, that is such a lie. You did not buy it this morning. When did you buy it? He goes, well, I bought it about halfway up. So it was already up 1,000 points, and he bought it and went up 1,000. So he thinks he skinned a fat cat. But almost everybody, as you know, is going to tell you that they bought at the very bottom and they sold at the very top all the time, right?
They might say that, but that's not the reality.
Never happens.
We're still in the fear mode. I mean, there's still a lot of fear and uncertainty about how widespread this is going to be, how much it's going to hurt the economy, which it clearly is. I mean, the number of unemployed people is going to soar literally into the millions. as all these businesses don't have the money to keep paying people for doing nothing. So the unemployment claims last week were like 210,000. This week it may be 5 million. I mean, it's just going to be huge. And then more like that as well. The government is mandating that people close down. So it's kind of hard to have sales when you're not even allowed to be open. But there's going to be a lot of pent-up demand. And once this thing curves, now I think Wall Street's going to turn around once the rate of growth of coronavirus starts slowing down. Right now it's still accelerating. But when the rate of growth slows, that's telling Wall Street we're going to get our hands around this thing. And then I think the market can take off.
And you just interview experts in this game. I mean, this is number one, you're not just talking out of you're listening to smart people,
right,
forming opinions and looking for opportunity, just like every one of us should be doing. And I get calls every day, people going, what am I going to do? My job is gone. And I go,
right,
figure out how to sell in to this new economy instead of stand back. You
right,
got to figure out something people want to buy in this thing. Jiminy Christmas. I used to be the most, I have a friend and I can't think off the top of my head. It's making me so mad. He sold toilet paper. And I just thought he was the biggest dipstick in the world, you know, because who sells toilet paper? Now he's probably driving a Bentley. I wish I could think of his name and call him, because he's the richest guy in the world.
What people are going to want is health-related products, clearly, because the better your immune system, and this is not the last virus we're ever going to see, Tom, okay? This may be a very virulent one, but we're going to have the viruses in the future. I've been kidding with somebody that this is the coronavirus. The next one's going to be the Budweiser virus, right?
No question, no doubt about it. So people have to be ready and learn something in this one to be ready for the next one.
So health is clearly going to be a big part of it. And being financially independent is a big part of it. All these people that are reliant on these companies, see how loyal these companies are to the employees. The moment something hits, they're gone.
Gone.
Right? So that's the good thing about network marketing, is that it allows you to be your own boss and have control of your future instead of being reliant on some big company that gets hit by something like this and you're out in the street with no savings.
Yeah, and they're home. And what's so cool about that, and we're going to get into mortgages in a couple of seconds and all that stuff, but here's what I heard the other day. The average person makes $60,000 a year in this country. They pay $14,000 in taxes. So they've got 46 grand left over, and they're buying daycare, and they're also buying coffee at Starbucks. And now they're home. And they're saving all that daycare money, and they're saving all that coffee money that they're spending along with everything else. And they're realizing this ain't so bad. And if all of you can learn to speak powerfully to people that have been in that complete job environment forever and not rub it in their face, because then you're just a jerk, but show them powerfully that there is a way to make money from home that's great, and it's tangible and it's residual, you're going to really, really spike your business. But home is the word. Let's talk about interest rates for a second, because they really are trying to get us to borrow money at really low rates, right?
Well, they plunged, Tom, the lowest we've ever seen in our lifetimes. So the 30-year fixed rate mortgage is down to about 2.5%. I mean, who would ever say something like that? Yeah. So certainly, if you want to refinance, this is the best of all times in our lifetime. You could get, if you're say 3.5% or higher on your mortgage, refinancing to 2.5% would be a great deal. Even better, if you could go from a 30-year mortgage to a 15-year mortgage, then it might be 2%, and you can pay it off and save yourself 15 years of a mortgage. I always like to give useful websites, Tom. So one there would be called You Can Refi, YOUCANREFI.com. They search around the country to get you the best possible deal. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is what's called the mortgage optimization strategy, which takes advantage of these low interest rates, which literally allows you to pay off a 30-year mortgage in about 5 or 6 years on your existing level of income. So your home could be free and clear in about 5 or 6 years. And basically what it does is it uses a home equity line of credit, and it almost becomes your checking account. You put money in, you keep your checking amount in there, pushing your balance down every day. You're making progress on the principal, and literally you can be mortgage-free 25 years faster than you ever thought possible. A website to find out more about that would be truthinequity.com. They take you step-by-step through the whole thing. I've just saved your listeners 25 years off their mortgage and tens of thousands of dollars in needless interest.
So youcanrefi.com is one of them, right? When I was on Business for Breakfast, I did not have a stenographer. Now I've got Pamela Ann Schwartz, who types faster than Jordan talks. So
Okay.
we're going to have these things on for you. So the second one is called truthinequity.com.
Truthinequity.com. That's what's called the mortgage optimization strategy. And they'll take you step by step through it. And you can see exactly how much faster you can pay off your mortgage than you ever thought imaginable. And this is something, Tom, you're never going to hear about from a bank.
Yeah.
Because banks think the existing system works real well. You pay them for 30 years. All the interest is front-end loaded for the first 10 to 15 years. And then you refinance and start all over again with a new clock. So they think you're doing great by keeping your money in a checking account, earning nothing, and paying them interest for 30 years. Not necessary.
You guys pay attention to this stuff. What about your life insurance policy that you don't need? Anything to do with that?
Absolutely. So this is a source of capital a lot of people don't even know they have. This is what's called the life settlement market, where literally you can sell your life insurance policy and get hundreds of thousands of dollars instead of what most people do is let their life insurance policy lapse and get nothing out of it. Just crazy. Again, the life insurance company is never going to tell you you can sell your policy, but there are loads of hedge funds and other companies out there who will buy your life insurance policy from you, and then they become the beneficiary. They pay the premiums, and when you die, they get the death benefit. But meanwhile, you're getting a huge chunk of cash up front. Say, for example, you're 70 years old and you've got $1 million life insurance policy. You might be able to sell that for $300,000, something like that. And then when you die, they get the $1 million, but you get $300,000 up front. You don't have to pay the premiums anymore. And everybody's a win-win except the life insurance company. They would love it for you to drop the policy and get off the hook. But that's not the way it works. So the website for that is fundinglife.com, fundinglife.com. It's a free service. They'll tell you how much you could get for your life insurance policy. They take care of it. There's actually many more people wanting to buy policies than there are people selling them. So you literally have buyers competing to give you a higher price for your policy, which otherwise you'd let it lapse.
Who would think that? And you're running, I mean, people are, Richard Brooke just wrote a really, really good report on what's going to come down right now because it's going to be scary. This might even make 2008 look like a walk in the park.
Right.
And you talk about what you're going to be able to do to stay in business in order to get back in business. And you might have to sell your life insurance policy. You might have to run your credit card debt up. And you've got something that you believe in fervently called debt prioritization, correct?
Correct.
What
so
is
debt prioritization is for companies that have a lot of debt. And what they do is they typically respond to the creditor that screams the loudest at them, okay? That's not the creditor you want to pay typically. You want to pay the creditor that has the most leverage over your business. Okay, the electric company can turn your lights off tomorrow. They got a lot of leverage on your business. Some lawyer that did some contract 3 years ago you never went through with has no leverage over you. But if the lawyer screams louder than the electric company, you might pay him first, which is totally wrong. So you can do debt prioritization where each creditor is given a weight of the amount of leverage they have over your business. And you pay the ones who have the most leverage first, the ones least leverage later, and you can save your business. It's easily the way it goes.
That is cool. Okay, we got to take a break, Jordan. Okay. This is the Genesis Communication Network. I was talking about Ted Anderson earlier because we all know him. Unbelievable guy who has had me on the air for 12 years doing this show, along with lots of other radio. I love him. I don't know why he believed in me so much, but I will never be able to thank him enough. Thanks for keeping us on the air, Ted. We'll be back right after this. It's the Network Marketing Leadership Show with Tom Chenault. And we're back, and isn't this cool? So she changes the screen behind me. So now we're in the middle of our only advertiser. I won't take advertising because I have a heck of a time proving it up and quantifying it for the people that give me money. So the only person that gives me money is my son, Adrian, who's got this app called Contact Mapping. And if you ever do anything today, watch my Facebook Live I did earlier about just that waitress. This is what's making me crazy right now is we're all thinking about that barista that we knew or that waiter that we knew that we loved so much. And now the restaurant's out of business and your friend, the waiter or waitress is out there drowning and you just wish you could call and give them a hand up or maybe even a hand out. And you had no way, you never really mapped them. And what I do, and Jordan will tell you this because I haven't been on the radio in 10 years, but every 6 months or so, I touch base with Jordan and tell him I love him because you never know when a situation is going to come along where we need each other, which is what happened this week with Jordan Goodman, because he was the perfect guy to be on the air about this coronavirus and being smart in a bad market. Am I wrong or am I right, Jordan, about keeping track of your contacts?
You're absolutely right. I've got a huge amount of contacts. You have a huge amount of contacts. Just the power of putting people together who don't know each other, who have something to offer each other, is just incredible. 1.1 plus 1, it can equal 10, basically, when you put the right people together. And we've done this in the past, Tom. We put some people together that created some really wonderful things.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I forgot about that.
Right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we both made a ton of money on that one transaction.
Correct.
And it ended up not working out for you or for me, but we made some money in the middle. And the name of the game is, that's what you all, I forgot about that one. That was a big transaction.
Right.
It was just a power of connection.
Correct.
Jordan knew somebody, I knew somebody on the other side, and we got in the middle of it and we both made a buck. And
Right.
that's what you want to do, all of you, because you know people. I don't know everybody, but I know everybody that's going to know everybody. And that's what Jordan's very, very good at. We were talking in the pre-show and Ryan Chamberlin, these guys, I mean, they like literally knew the neighborhoods each other live in down in Florida. And it was just a marriage made in heaven. And Jordan and this guy are going to be connected forever. And what ends up winning? The universe. If you don't have an agenda, it becomes almost a God deal and great things happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, I always say the biggest power in business is leverage, and leveraging in relationships is the most important thing you can do. You don't have to be an expert of these things, but if you know the expert, and on the other side, if you know the person who needs that expertise, they can often, the two of them, create magic. And I've done it time and time. You've done it time and time again. That's what contact mapping is all about, is leveraging the power of relationships.
And you're a master at it. And I'm telling you, I want you all to go to contactmapping.com. It's got a 30-day free test. And if you don't like it, obviously you don't sign up for the $10 a month. If you don't have the $10 a month, call me on the phone. I'll loan it to you. I want you to be better people. I don't necessarily need you to be better network marketers, better business people. I want you to be better human beings. And we can train you to speak to people without an agenda. Jason Barreco, I saw you popped on just now. Your beautiful wife, I've known you for a long time. We don't talk enough, but we need to stay connected. And that's all contact mapping does. Contactmapping.com. We'll be back right after this. And we're back. Final segment with my buddy, Jordan Goodman, moneyanswers.com. If you aren't paying attention to what is going on out there in the world, you're a maniac. You're out of your mind. I can't help you. But I do know that you can go to moneyanswers.com, and that's going to get you to the 3 websites that Jordan's already talked about. There is so much more he's got for you, like your home equity loan. I mean, if you need cash, there's ways to go in there and pull money out. Talk about that a little bit, Jordan.
So it's a way of sharing your future appreciation of home equity. So if you need cash out of your house and you've got equity, this is a way of getting to that equity without a loan, no interest whatsoever. You're only giving up a piece of your future equity. So the website for that is findequityfreedom.com. It's a fantastic thing. There's tons of people in this country who have equity, but they can't get their hands on it, and they don't want to take out a home equity loan. So what you do is you sign up with them, they evaluate your house, and then they say, from this point on where we are now to the future, whenever you sell your house, whether it's a month, a year, 10 years from now, we're going to share in the appreciation. But meanwhile, you get cash. It's a fantastic deal for many, many people. Right now, today, it's all about liquidity, Tom, having liquidity. And here's a way that people have this equity and they get their hands on it. So findequityfreedom.com, tell them all about it.
Here's what I want to talk to you about before, and I'm going to hijack you with something because it just dawned on me that what you're doing is what I do.
Exactly.
Now, I've got a lot of people in my network marketing company. I can't go join another network marketing company. It is absolutely an idiotic idea. I would never, ever, ever do that. However, affiliate programs and going out there and building streams of income off of things you're already passionate about.
Correct.
Right now I've got 14,000 people on my Facebook wall alone, along with all the other social media stuff I've got. A small percentage of those people are in my network marketing company. The vast majority of those people are just people that are in other companies that like what I do, that are my friends. And as a result of that, they are somebody that I can openly market something I'm passionate about over and above my network marketing company.
Right.
How important is it that people understand that their social network is absolute money in the bank?
It is. I always say the list is the gold, right? And if you got the list, you can bring in the gold. Because I mean, I do the same thing. All the websites and resources you see at moneyanswers.com, there's over 100 of them, are things I believe passionately, as you put it, that are affiliates. I'm helping people pay their mortgages off much faster than they thought of, sell their life insurance policies, get equity in their homes, fantastic services people they don't even know exist. And I get a little something when that happens. So I'm helping people. I'm helping those companies get customers. I'm helping the customers get services they didn't even know they had. It's a win-win all the way around.
And I want you guys to think about that a little bit. My list is worth, zillions. That's what I believe my list is worth. The people out there with those affiliate programs believe my list is worth zillions too. It's the same thing with Jordan. The only thing I want you to do is become me. That comes from that contactmapping.com conversation where you're mapping everybody and providing service to everybody you meet. 90% of the people that I ride in Ubers with and all that stuff, they don't want anything to do with network marketing, but they want something in their life. It's my job to figure out what it is that they want and figure out a way to get that for them. Even if, in most of my cases in my life, it's all sobriety. It's homeless people, it's drug addicts, it's alcoholics. And my job is to listen to everybody with no agenda, figure out what it is that is in their life that's missing, that I can fill that hole. And if I can make a buck on it, or if I can get a little closer to heaven on it in the world of karma by helping those people, everybody wins. And if you can live your life like that, just like Jordan does. I love this guy. I've known him for years because he never picks my pocket. It's
right.
Always win-win. And that's how you live your life, right?
Exactly. Win-win is a sustainable long-term relationship. If it's win-lose, it's a one-shot deal and it's over. So you have to offer value to both sides. I offer value to the companies that offer great services by bringing them customers that would never find them. I bring value to the customers who get services I never knew existed. So it's a win-win all the way around. And if you're in the middle of it, you get a little bit from both sides and everybody's happy. That's the way to succeed in business.
Yeah, you've got to let that door constantly swing both ways.
Right.
So Jordan's going to stick around. And especially during this break, if you get bored with Ryan, which you won't, it'll be phenomenal. But Ryan Chamberlain's going to come on during the break. It will, during the break and after. But you guys, the name of the game is connection with integrity, where people feel that they can trust you, that you love them, and that you belong in their tribe, and they'll do anything for you. And it's what's going to set you apart from the next guy that's just selling with a bunch of arrogance. So please fire your brain, hire your heart, stick around. We're coming back right after this. It's the Network Marketing Leadership Show with Tom Chenault. Hello, Ryan Chamberlin. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, Tom. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on. Great segment, Jordan. I learned a lot, made a lot of notes right there.
Thank you.
It's crazy. He's got he only gave us 3 or 4 websites. He's got 96 left. I swear to you all, when I have a question about something I need that I don't understand, I call Jordan, because Jordan's got the answers. And I love the love that he's got for his son. I love the fact that he's in this game all the time, playing it big. I told him that, I'm going to be honest with you, I told him I want to get Adrian on some radio. Adrian should be, this contact mapping message is going to change the world. It is important stuff. And advertising, quite frankly, if it doesn't have a powerful influencer speaking it, it's useless. And what's so beautiful about Jordan is his message is so big that when he tells people to listen to Adrian, it's not his dad speaking, it is Jordan Goodman speaking. It is Ryan Chamberlin speaking. It is Ray Higdon speaking. That's where it gets big, right, boys?
Absolutely.
Well, that's a pretty short answer. What else? Jesus.
Well, I mean,
we're on the break.
You
can even cuss during the breaks.
You can get authority by helping people.
Yeah.
And when you help people, that's why I've been the money answers man for all these years, because they got questions, I've got the answers, you know. And when the answers work, they tell other good people, and it just kind of builds the tribe, as you would put it.
That's exactly right. And if you go to contactmapping.com, I've got to keep saying that during this break or I'll get fired. I actually work for Adrian and his partner. Adrian's partner is Rick Manelius, and that guy went to MIT, not only for his, and here's what's impressive about Rick. He's got his doctorate from MIT. That's pretty doggone good, but that's something that a corporation could get you in. What's astounding is Rick was just a kid in upstate New York that they found him and his intellect, not a family with huge money, an unbelievable mother, and Rick got his undergraduate from MIT too. And this kid so he comes down here. We thought he was just going to be an egghead. I met him in a coffee shop. I interviewed him, found out he was more into transformation and more into personal development than he was all that tech stuff at MIT and the internet companies he was in. And as a result of that, he partnered up with Adrian to build the architecture to protect your data against the world who's trying to mine you and your company who's trying to keep your stuff after you leave. And all of a sudden, these two guys built something that is absolutely a magic trick called contactmapping.com. And if you go to that, you are going to understand that your most valuable asset in your life is your database. It's the most valuable asset. And so many people are home right now in the coronavirus, wishing that they had absolutely kept better control of their database because they just got laid off. And all of a sudden they went into salesforce.com to go look at their database and it's gone. They turned it off because they laid everybody off. And when they come back to work, they'll turn everybody on. But they don't want anybody stealing the leads that they gave them during the interim, which is crazy. Companies should not be able to control your data, should they?
That's right. Well, you're doing it on company time, and I guess they feel they own it. But those are your people, your leads that you generated, and you should have that separate. I mean, if you get all those leads into your contact mapping database, now you've got a life instead of being cut off by your company. You're exactly right.
What's the name of that selling into your insurance policy website one more time?
It's called fundinglife.com.
Funding.
It's called life insurance settlements to help you sell your life insurance policy. Right.
Now, when you do these, are you the one that thinks of all these catchy web short names?
I work with the places to get something that like people can remember.
That is catchy and cool, man. I want to be Jordan Goodman when I grow up. I'm just going to be honest. I do. Sitting out there in that palatial mansion, just 100 little cash registers ringing from about 100 different places. That's what I want. Never, ever, ever can any economy rip you asunder if you've got enough connections. Right. Contactmapping.com. Go there. Remember that. Let's do a radio show. 5 seconds. And we are back. It's the Network Marketing Leadership Show. And we have got an old friend of mine who I love named Marianne Chamberlin. And my dear friend Garrett McGrath called me on the phone, said, Tom, you're not going to believe what's going on. I said, what's that? He goes, Ryan Chamberlin is running for Congress. I said, Ryan Chamberlin should run for Congress. And if I remembered correctly, his dad was a politician. So Ryan Chamberlin actually understands the game, understands the perils of the game, understands the upside of the game, but most importantly, understands the responsibility of the game. And so the game called politics. And it's got a life of its own. I've been asked to do politics all my life. I was a natural for it. And guess what? Never would I do it because it feels like it's too hard. And he's got a beautiful family. He's a beautiful man, and I love him. Ryan, how are you, man?
I'm doing great, Tom. You know, as you were saying that, you're talking about politics. And again, thanks for having me on the show. But, you know, I know we're talking leadership, talking a little bit about the networking industry. My campaign director, when we launched here about 6 weeks ago, February 4th is when we made our public announcement. He said, Ryan, I need you to do 3 things over the first 60 days. of your campaign. I need you to make a bunch of phone calls. I need you to do a bunch of one-on-one meetings, and I need you to do a bunch of home meetings. And I sat back for about 30 seconds, said, I think I could do that.
Wow.
It is an interesting time to be a candidate, I will tell you. Over the last week and, maybe about a 2 or 3 week period, I'm hoping it's even shorter than that. But we're on here with you, and we're excited about this way that we can continue to spread our message.
Well, we need you. And, over in Utah, I think it was Orrin Hatch, I can't remember, that was a big fan of network marketing. And he was always out there making sure that we did not get decimated by all the lobbyists and the people like that. And having a young guy like you that has got a voice for the entire world winning that, I mean, we've got to get network marketers, network marketing companies, and we've got to create a groundswell of support to get your voice into Congress to protect this great profession. Wouldn't you agree?
100%. Tom, I mean, I don't know if there is any better industry to represent the free enterprise system other than network marketing. And our friends, our founders of the Amway Corporation knew that, and they were very influential in helping this industry to what they can. But we're in a new world. We've got new challenges facing us. And one of the several things that I know that we'll be able to do when we're in DC is help advocate for this industry, as things come up that the average person in DC just doesn't understand about the industry. We need some people that do understand it there as well. And I know I'll be able to help with that.
So you've got a text number. So I want you all to text this number that is on the chat side, but also you people listening on the great Genesis Communication Network. The number to text right then is text Ryan 2020 to 22999. Ryan 2020 to 22999. That's what you need to do, and do that right now. Get in on his radar and get him on your radar, because what he's doing is important work that few people have the courage to do. Why did you do it?
Well, I tell you, the timing is right. You see a picture of my beautiful family back here.
Yeah.
Certainly my family is a big reason why I would want to do this. I have 4 boys. My wife and I have been married in a few months here, it'll be 26 years. We were high school sweethearts, and we now have 4 awesome boys, 23, 19, 18, and 15. And I'm going to tell you, Tom, some of the decisions that are being made in DC are going to affect the quality of what we know this country to be. And my children are not going to experience the same country that I was able to experience if someone doesn't go there and help out. And not everybody can go, and I understand that. But there's a few of us that are making that decision to go, and certainly supporting that is much appreciated. But my children are a big reason. That's one of the many reasons. And I could go on, and I don't know how political we need to be on the Network Marketing Leadership Show. But I think that, we don't need to be. We share common values.
Right. I'm going to vote the person, not the party, every time. And I don't care. I mean, I swear to God, I don't. I'm not going to get hooked into any kind of left or right conversation or conservative or whatever the other side of that. I'm probably bipartisan. I'm probably bisexual, and I'm probably bi whatever. Not kidding. So whatever I am. I mean, I am not going to get in that game because I'm voting for you. That's what I'm going to vote for. And I'm not going to let a party taint my vote for you, because I think you're bigger than that. I think you're bigger than the party. I think your message is bigger than the party, and I'm probably wrong. I'm probably an idiot, but that's the way I feel. You didn't, when I heard you were doing this, I didn't go, geez, I got to see if he's this or that. I said, I love that guy, and I'm sticking with that.
Well, I appreciate that. And, those of us that understand what it takes to not only build teams, but to hold them together for a long time. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between, building something and holding something together. And those principles that are involved there really speak to the people that love this industry. They know that there's some common values that we want to work towards. You represent those. I represent those values. Not everyone that's in DC on either side, not everybody on both sides have issues there. And there's obviously problems that we all are feeling and experiencing, in the direct sales networking industry. Those that have been around for a while have been a part of things that they've been able to watch that are dysfunctional within our industry. And then there's, companies and programs in our industry that just seem to be able to keep moving on through and weathering the storm. What's the common thing that we can point that to is going to be leadership. And we've got to send the right leadership to DC to help us all with that. We love the industry. I in my early 20s, got started. My wife and I joined a company. Did not make a lot of money that first year in networking, but we did get locked into some books and tapes. Back then it was cassette tapes, and we caught the bug. We saw how you could influence a large amount of people with having this kind of platform. And we didn't have a platform. We were sitting in the audience wondering, could we ever do what we see other people doing? Could we ever, be that person? We didn't communicate very well. And here's the good news about our industry. The answer is absolutely yes, because everything a top leader that we would view a top leader to be able to do in this industry can be learned. And if it can be learned, that means you watching this can learn it. So I just want to give some inspirational thoughts to those that are viewing this, that would want to watch this particular show, that absolutely the qualities can be learned, and you're on the right kind of show to learn those things. We applied what we learned, and it worked. And for the most part of our adult life, for a better several decades now, we've experienced a tremendous lifestyle of a leveraged income. But I'm not going to say it wasn't hard. I'm going to say it was worth it, though. And we have continued to go down that path. So we're definitely believers in networking. Before we decided to make our decision to go into politics, we view politics as another vehicle, another way for us to help a large amount of people. And in this case, we're going to be able to take a lot of what we learned over the last several decades and take it with us and help influence people to think the way, Tom, that I know you would want represented.
How old are you?
I'll be 46 in May.
Is your dad still alive?
He is. My guess is he's watching this show right now.
He must be a hell of a man, is all I'm going to tell you. To go through what that is, this whole thing called politics, which is a crazy, crazy deal. And to be a politician, you got to give up so much. You probably end up getting a little, but I think you give up far more. I know a lot of politicians here in Longmont, Colorado. And like I said, they've asked me to do it. And I looked at the scope of the job for what you get. And I said, you can do it. I'm just going to be the godfather. But at the end of the day, your dad instilled those values in you to step up, lead with your chin. And I love your dad for that.
I appreciate that. The first 10 years of my life, I was exposed to some really unique things as a young person. Not only my dad serving in the Georgia House in the late 70s, early 80s, but he went on to run many campaigns. And the first decade of my life was around, you could say it got into my blood at that point, where I developed a viewpoint that, hey, these are important things that people are doing. And the right person in the right job can help a lot of people. And then, of course, the last 25 years, I've been dedicated to helping, not only being an entrepreneur. My wife and I have owned several businesses. She's an entrepreneur as well. And so it hasn't been just networking, but networking has certainly been an answer for us from just what we were able to do financially for our family in a big way. But we've met a lot of people, and we've gone on to now the last decade, we've coached networkers, but we've also coached traditional businesses, because guess what's in common? The mindset that is required to be successful in just about anything overlaps into what we're talking about today.
And you talk to people like Jordan Goodman, you talk to all these traditional business people, and they say, the first thing I ever did with my 20-year-old kid is I told him to go get in a network marketing company, because I knew that they were going to learn to sell. I knew they were going to learn to fail. I knew they were going to learn to win. I knew they were going to learn to face disappointment. And whether it stuck or not, it was the greatest experience of their life. And a guy called me a couple of days ago off LinkedIn, lost his big job, had $100,000, wrote me a note, said, I want to invest $100,000 into something I can sell into the coronavirus deal. And I said, here's what I'm going to tell you, buddy. Why don't you save $99,500 of that money and join a good network marketing company that has a product or even not a product that is in that space, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to be selling hope. You're going to be selling a dream. You're going to be selling something people can do, and you don't have to waste all your money. You don't have to buy a warehouse or anything like that. Just go take it, lead with your chin. And Dennis Nordquist, who you know quite well, just quoted Mark Yarnell, who said that network marketing is truly the last bastion of free enterprise. And I happen to believe that, and I know you do too.
I do believe that. You reminded me when you were talking about that, and you mentioned earlier Ray Higdon, guy we both know.
Yeah.
He had made a post earlier, I think 3 or 4 days ago, said something about home-based business sounds really good right about now, doesn't it? And with the lockdown, I mean, what better solution, what better answer that this industry can bring to the table than a way to do business as flexible as you could possibly want it with this digital world that we live in. Now, take that into politics. Right now, Ryan Chamberlin, because of my background, I believe has a strong edge over how I can continue to conduct business and not be slowed down by the fact that all the events that we had set up have been paused, but we've continued on to be able to get this message out using this kind of technology. So it's, it's a fun time. It really is. I know it's a serious time. I know there's some things that aren't so positive out there, but there's a lot of things to look forward to here in the near future, and we're pressing on.
All right, let's take a little break. We're going to come back. We're on the Genesis Communication Network. Thank you, Ted Anderson, for putting us on. We're coming back right after this. And we're back. All right, we got Ryan. I love this guy. And I want you to think a little bit about what just happened. Garrett McGrath, who's got great influence with me. We're on the board of the ANMP together. And by the way, we just postponed the ANMP event until this crazy deal's over. So it will not happen. Those of you that have tickets will figure that out, but it's not going to happen. But Garrett, Ryan and I know each other, but we know each other a little bit. Garrett knows him quite well. So Garrett used his influence with me, called me on the phone, said, Tom, guess what's going down? And it wasn't like, I'm going to think about it. It was yes, because Garrett's influence and belief in Ryan transferred over here, and that's why he's on this show. All of you have got to get that kind of power into your database. And the way that you do it is you interview people, you find out their blood type, 4 kids, his dad was in politics, whole shot, everything about Ryan, that gets that gets mapped. I speak it into my phone, never to forget. So I see Ryan in a year, and I say, how's your dad? And he starts crying because he loves his dad. How's your 4 boys? He starts crying because he loves his 4 boys and his wife. That's what you've got to do. You've got to get deeper than these people are finding on LinkedIn and Facebook and all this garbage, and get to the crux of the human relationship. And that's what contact mapping does. And that's what's going to get Ryan Chamberlin elected. Right, Ryan?
100%. I wrote down 2 notes that, that I'm thinking about this, things that I've heard you say. And they're just profound, because in this industry and how we communicate with relationships is absolutely important. One of those statements is this: learn to listen with no agenda.
Amen.
That is an absolute powerful statement, because in our industry, if you're in networking or in politics, oftentimes, or in both, like I have been, you got to be careful you're not too busy selling what you have so much that you can't hear what people are saying. And so learning how to communicate properly on the listening side, contact mapping, contactmapping.com is going to help direct that in a tremendous way. I know you're about to say something. Go right ahead.
No, I'm not. I'm agreeing with you. And everything that he's doing, he's using connections to get connections to get connections. And that's going to get, what I'm going to do after I leave the show is I'm going to go call some people. I'm going to call a couple company owners. I'm going to try Terry LaCour. I'm going to try Steve Wallach. I'm going to try Al Bala. I'm going to talk to these people about you, so they're hearing it not only from Garrett, but they're hearing it from me, that you are the real deal, and that credibility is going to carry over, and I'm going to take all of you right back to what I said before. It's wonderful to learn all the skills, but unless you do the rigorous self-inquiry and become a better person, who can be trusted, who can be in conversation with no agenda except the other person's agenda. And once you start learning how to do that, interview people, and in contactmapping.com, there's something in there called the Coffee Shop Interview, which is an ebook that's free. Go get that book and learn how to listen to people instead of talk, and turn that filter called what's in it for me off, and turn the filter on that's called what's in it for them. And you are going to win it every time against the hip, slick, and cool guy over there with the white belt and the puka shells. You're going to kick his ass. Contactmapping.com. Get the Coffee Shop Interview. We're coming back right after this. Oh, I didn't say that. Here we go. We're coming back. 2 seconds. And we're back. We are with Ryan Chamberlin, who is a beast. You want this guy in office in Congress. Why? Because he's going to protect our profession that we hold so dear. And your job is to help him get elected. And your job is to be a professional network marketer. So therefore, he doesn't have to apologize for who we are. He is celebrating who we are in Washington, D.C. Right, Ryan?
Right. You know, you mentioned the words professional network marketer. Let's talk about two things that we've just covered here just a little bit ago. To be a professional network marketer, these two things are required. One, listen with no agenda. And number two, find out what you can help people with.
Yeah.
And if you live your life that way, your list will get so big and so powerful. You've been talking about powerful lists. I mean, I'm loving what I'm hearing from you here, Tom, because it really is the way to just adjust your lifestyle to be able to compound just what you're going to, the amount of people you're going to be meeting already. I have a statement that I use throughout my networking career, and that is, if no one you know wants to join your team today, you're going to meet enough people over the next 6 to 12 months to build a massive organization. And so that applies absolutely to contact mapping with what you discussed. Now let's take it a step further. We can go out and do the same thing to help people in DC, and that's what Ryan Chamberlin is doing right now. So I'm excited to take what we've learned, excited to take, you know, what influence we have with the people in our base that we have, and they're excited too. So we're gaining some momentum here, and I don't know of any United States congressperson, man or woman, that will be able to represent this industry the way that I know I will with people like you that I can pick up the phone and call to and say, okay, give me some insight as to what's happening on the ground, or some of the other names that you've mentioned. We're going to be able to help with that. But that's not the only thing. There's many other things that we all are seeing and realizing. We just need a new generation of people to continue to help this country be the great country it is.
I know there's a yellow dog Democrat watching this show, and that yellow dog Democrat would rather vote for a yellow dog than a Republican. But I also know that yellow dog Democrat really, really well. And I know that yellow dog Democrat's going to vote the man, not the party. And I'm begging all you yellow dog Democrats, libertarians, whatever the hell all the parties are, to look past that. Because we have got a profession that needs completely represented at the highest levels. And the way that you do that is you bring Ryan Chamberlin into office. That's that simple. Look past your party at the man, no matter what it is. And I love I love every party. The reason I am not politics is because I don't want to dislike somebody. I don't want to dislike half the world. I don't want to do that. I want to love like crazy, then love more. And if you're a good person, you get to have a great job and a great life and make a huge difference. And I want to meet your dad one of these days, Ryan. He's my age.
He is, I'm sure. Well, yeah, about that, I'm guessing. But you guys will get along very, very well, and I'm sure we'll make sure that connection happens. You know, as I built organizations over the last several decades, my teams were full of, all kinds of political parties. Mm-hmm. But we got along when we were talking about the principles that this industry represents. And I want to go right along with you. We can still get along. Everybody can get along. We got to, let's elect the person in this case to represent the industry. And I appreciate those comments, Tom. I really do. I appreciate you having me on this show. And I'm just glad to be here.
We're gonna kill it. So here's another beautiful thing about this coronavirus is it's really leveled us all up. I mean, think about it. We are all scared to death across the board. And I'm not, I'm not like thinking anything. I'm not thinking Christians and Mormons and Muslims. I'm not thinking Democrats and Republicans. I'm not thinking gay and straight. I'm thinking human beings, absolutely scared, common problem, common solution, trust God, love like crazy, then love more, then you win. And then we go back to Ryan and we say, you know what profession exemplifies that philosophy I just laid out right there? And it's network marketing. And we've got to raise professional awareness around that. Right, Ryan?
We absolutely have to. There are several, industries and or people that would want to challenge what we know is a great industry here. Because there's certain people making a large income. Now we praise that, we want that, and we support that. But there are people out there, and some of them are louder than the good network marketers in DC. And if the other side that's against what we do is louder than the ones that are for it, we got some issues we got to deal with. And so representing this industry is a very important thing. I believe this industry is set up to be stronger than it's ever been over the next several years. We just have to continue to help guide it through these principles and through these times. So we plan on being that person.
All right, here's your homework right now. Next week, Marion County, she will kill it. It will be unbelievable. We're going to do a little prelude to that on Saturday night if you want to watch her, because she's for free. She calls me on the phone and says, you know what, Tom, I know I'm coming on your show a week from Saturday, but I really, really want to come to your show again on Saturday night and just basically train people and talk network marketing for an hour. So here's the deal. In a half an hour from right now, actually 33 minutes, Les Brown is coming on TomChenaultZoom.com. That's not one of those links I make money on. TomChenaultZoom.com. In 30 minutes, Les Brown will be on there just talking hope, happiness, and everything good about life. So please go have a Coke, take a half an hour off right now, and come to TomChenaultZoom.com, and you'll get to hear Les Brown change the world too. So Ryan, I love you. It's been great having you. If you need obviously I'm not going to take any job, but if you need a guide out there that's got a blowtorch to help you spread the word, put me in the game, Coach.
Thanks so much, Tom. Thank you for having me on.
See you all next week. All right, we're back. How fun was that? Bring Jordan back in here. Now we can, alive, Robert Blackman, Cameron Coor, your dad. Is George Richard your dad?
It is.
Holy mackerel, Mr. Chamberlin, nice to meet you. I spelled your son's name wrong on Facebook, which was beautiful. I just noticed because I'm a terrible talk show host. It's unbelievable. So Jordan, how'd I do? Was I okay with interviewing a man like you?
Fantastic. We got
reminded you of the old days, didn't it?
Absolutely. One thing I want to mention is I've created a special landing page for your people.
Good.
To give them all kinds of information. So it's go.moneyanswers.com/network marketing.
How on earth did you do that quick?
I'm quick.
You must have an army of people. So Pamela, did you see that?
Go.moneyanswers.com/network marketing. And they get all kinds of goodies, free stuff, resources, newsletters, all kinds of goodies.
That's very, very cool. Everybody do that. And, finding a guy that's a muckety-muck that's on MSNBC all the time, or a United States congressman that love network marketing is like finding a needle in a haystack. I mean, even Trump would have had the Trump network. That's where I met him. I was, the elevator where he came down to, oh, by the way, I got to talk about Dennis Nordquist for a second. I can tie this whole conversation together with contact mapping in about 1 second. So we're going to do that in a minute. But Trump, the elevator, man, I was at the elevator standing on the side when he was with the twins, and he licensed the Trump network to those guys. And he was standing out there shaking hands. That's where I shook his hand. But you never hear about that anymore. You hear about Trump University, but we need somebody that when they get elected, they don't forget that they were network marketers. That's going to be you, Ryan, right? That's
going to be me. There's no way I can forget it. I mean, it has it has given my family a tremendous ability to do a lot of, I mean, we've lived what everybody wants out of the industry, the Chamberlin family has been able to live that. And so we understand it. We know how to build teams, hold them together. And, one of the things that's going wrong in Congress right now is people that don't understand how to get a team to work properly. That's a dysfunctional team is what's really going on. It's dysfunctional on both sides, to be honest with you. But we're certainly excited. And thanks for your support, Tom. Really means a lot.
I love you. So we're not on the radio anymore, so we can slop around a little bit here. So I mentioned Dennis Nordquist a couple of minutes ago. So Nordquist is this guy who is so cute. It's unbelievable. And he's got this friend named Gene Stewart. And I've known these guys for years and I love them. So then Jordan, contactmapping.com, Jordan gets me involved with a bunch of guys up in New Hampshire.
Right.
And these guys were good guys. And so Nordquist, well, no, they were guys. And so Nordquist is in New Hampshire. So I'm a contact mapper. So I go to New Hampshire to meet these guys. And all of a sudden, so because Jordan introduced me to him, and I look in my phone and I realize Nordquist lives in New Hampshire. So I map him. So I call him on the phone and I said, Dennis, don't you live in New Hampshire? He goes, yeah, let's meet at Marianne's restaurant, which happens to be the place that all the political guys announce their presidential candidacy and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's a little diner there in Derry, New Hampshire. So I go there with Nordquist. And he drives me all over the place and shows me all these famous spots. And it was the most delightful time. But I wouldn't have found that company and those people and made a buck without Jordan Goodman. And here you bring out, and Nordquist loves you, Ryan. So that whole circle comes together through contactmapping.com one more time, right?
Isn't it amazing? And Gene is down in Orlando here. We've hung out. Gene's been to my home. Dennis has been to my home. Oh, they're nice guys. So that contact mapping, you're absolutely right. It really is a relationship. If we're in the relationship business, why not become experts at relationships?
You never know who you know. So you got.
The guy I connected you with, Tom, was the owner of Marianne's restaurant, Bill Andreoli.
Right, that's what I'm telling you, Bill Andreoli and his family. Yeah, that's what was so crazy.
And
the world is small.
That restaurant is where every politician has ever gone in the New Hampshire primary. And he's got pictures all over his walls with him and Carter and Hillary Clinton and Bush and Ed Muskie, and every one of them always goes to Marianne Restaurant during the New Hampshire primary. So that's the guy I introduced you to, and all kinds of great things happen from there.
Franklin D. Roosevelt went there. So listen to me. I love you guys with all of my heart. I got to go get ready for Les Brown because I'm going to run home. So I love you guys. Tom Chenault, Zoom.com. You guys should go watch it. It's going to be absolutely tremendous. And I'm not going to do it on Facebook. I'm going to do it as a Zoom so I can have it more interactive because everybody wants to know Les Brown. Louis Ariaza is going to help me with it. I love all of you. We'll see you all next week with Marion Worre. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
You guys were phenomenal. Thank you.
All right.
Great.
Thanks, you guys. Great
Thank
show. Thank you.
Or whatever.
Very
I
good.
love you.
So, Marion, can